idea how to really respond to that.
Alright guys, game number 2 between EG Demuslim and Gamma Bear Sen is going to start on Daybreak. Demuslim has been streaming a lot over the course of the last 2 months, I'd even say. He was back in the UK for a little while back then during MLG Rally, then he came back and he stayed in the US and he streamed so much ever since. I would say like 4 or 5 days a week he's been streaming, and I try to watch his stream every now and then. It was good for me when I was back in Holland and I didn't have a PC, I had a laptop, so I couldn't do a whole lot. I was like, okay, well, check streams, and Ben was pretty much always streaming, and I liked his stream, I always enjoyed it. And I must say, Ben, he's looking good against Zerg these days. We spoke a little bit with Jeff as well at DreamHack, and Jeff said he actually thinks that Demuslim is playing better StarCraft right now than he ever did. I think that's a bold statement to make. I mean, skill-wise, I would say yes, but compared to the rest, it's always hard, because Demuslim had times in Europe when he was considered perhaps even the best in Europe without really ever winning a major. There was a while he was close to untouchable for almost any European player, so it's hard to say that he's better than he ever was compared to the rest, but still, he's looking good. I was actually watching his stream yesterday a little bit where I saw him analyze a couple of his games against Scarlet. I saw a game on Cloud Kingdom where he played mech, and he looked good, man.
Yeah, I watched some of that stream as well. I was just impressed with his general state of mind. We've been pretty openly critical of the way that Demuslim can get inside of his own head and be his own worst enemy, and it's just been true of him in a lot of tournaments in the past, but it really sounds like he's turning over a new leaf. He's reaching a new point in his life where he's just found some consistency and some real strength in his play.
It's getting fierce. Demuslim going for the no gas fast expand build here on Daybreak. Are you expecting him to play mech on this map, then?
I don't know, Kev. I suppose so, because we did see some of those replays that he was showing against Scarlet yesterday. For me, I'm really kind of over mech in Terran versus Zerg. I think Zerg players have just kind of figured it out. But
wow, I think that's a bold statement.
I mean, I don't think so. I think that if you realize what's happening in time, that mech is pretty easy to deal with.
Okay. I'm not going to argue.
I mean, if we look at some of the the last games we saw, just in the NASL of meching Terrans playing against Zergs, we saw TLO crush Puma on Metropolis with some cute use of drops and Nidus, and we saw basically a copy-paste of the same game on Ohana in Hyun versus Cloud. Mech is awesome. The mech army is very strong, but it suffers from a very real inability to go anywhere and do anything, and if you give a Zerg player enough time to prepare for it, Roach Drop just crushes it, man. I think it crushes it so hard that it almost makes it dangerous to go mech.
But I mean, there are so many ways to play mech, and there are so many ways to open up. Of course, Roach Drop is very good against the MVP mech style, because that relies on Banshees for such a long time. Then if you get a couple of Queens and Roaches on top of a mech army, which by that phase of the game only consists of a couple of siege tanks, that's of course a whole different way than sort of the old school mech where you can get a lot of Tors out. We've always seen Demuslim favor Tors. I still remember those games we casted at Lone Star Clash back then when he played against Destiny on Cloud Kingdom. You remember that game against the Brood Lords?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a very cool game, and that actually showed some excellent use of mech late game as well, when normally you would say, oh, it's hard to move around, it's hard to still be mobile and active. I don't know. There are so many different ways to get to that strong Terran army point where you don't necessarily or you're not forced to open up the MVP style with all the Hellions and all the Banshees.
I don't disagree, but at some point you got to take a third base, and I think once you do that, it becomes almost impossible to defend 3 bases.
Well, we saw Ben getting 3 bases really quick. Of course, for now, he's just going to mine off 2. There's no need for him to take a risk. As the factory is being dropped, the reactor is added right now, so he's going to make a couple of Hellions. I don't think he's just going to rally these Hellions in, trying to kill a few drones. He's probably going to try to keep them alive for as long as possible. I would say 4 to 6 Hellions, then just try to perhaps deny creep tumors a little bit. Maybe drive in this third once, delay the saturation a little bit, but I don't think he wants to lose them. Ooh, double engineering bay going down, Ben.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Obviously, he has some sort of some timing planned on the back of this. He is going to make at least a Banshee, I think.
Yep.
As
something we remember of this playoff games that he played last season against Red is that he was a big fan of these 4 to 6 Hellion opening and then harassing with a couple of Banshees.
Yep, something that Demuslim is obviously apt to go back to from time to time. I'll say this about Demuslim. This is maybe the greatest strength that I think he has as a player, much more so than other non-Koreans, is that he has a wide range of builds. This guy has lots of different styles, and while he may favor certain styles over others from time to time, He has a deep book of plays to go to in a best of 5 or a best of 7.
Often he kind of creates his own little build / timings as well. Quite often you hear him say about that. He's always very proud when he creates a build. Watch something, yeah, he's been using my build. It's like, okay, Ben.
Yeah. He's like practicing by himself off in some corner of Europe, and then he sees like Illusion doing this build. He's like, hey, that's my build.
Snipes this Overlord. Overlord did get a reasonable scout off as he saw the starport, he saw the tech lab, he saw those Marines as well. And he saw additional Rexes going up, Ben, and these are a lot of Rexes already. With double eBay working off this. Interesting.
Yeah, big bio style coming up from Demuslim. Getting his stim, getting his 1-1. I guess we'll see probably combat shields very soon as well.
I find it a little bit surprising after the 6 Hellion Banshee opening. But
yeah, I mean, I guess one of the real strengths of Terran is that you have a lot of flexibility. You can open up one way, and you can still follow it, you know.
I think that Sen, well, Sen had a reasonable scout off, so perhaps he still knows what's going on, but I think it's kind of hard to call. This Overlord is going to die as well as these Marines are going to scatter it out. The Muslim feels safe enough to float over that third orbital, and he's going to mine over his third base.
Sen's done a great job of droning. He's basically at 70 drones right now, 66 workers, as he's adding more tech, getting more extractors, getting more, or getting his infestation pit. That's going to open up the mid game. Looks like he wants to play a Zergling Roach Infestor style here, which is cool. He's even investing in ranged attack upgrades, which means that he's maybe misreading what he's playing against.
The Muslim have a few SCVs too many in his main base, but not really a big deal, I guess. So far, didn't really kill a whole lot of drones, but this is kind of what I expected. The Muslim not really the type of player to just blindly rally in Hellions trying to kill a couple of drones. He rather keeps them alive and just tries to delay other stuff for as long as possible. He tried to, of course, delay the saturation of this base for a little bit, but that was hard because Sen had Queens in position, of course. Sen being the awesome Zerg player that he is.
Yes, yes. I like how the Muslim's using his Hellions, though, man. Like you said, he's not making commitments. He's just using them for control. Controlling creep spreads, slowing down Sin however he can. Sin, being the phenomenal player that he is not really one to be controlled. He's still going to get to the point that he wants to get to. Great scout here by Sin. Yeah,
really good scout. This Overseer sees pretty much everything. He's going to see the Marines. He will see the upgrades. I'm not sure if he saw both engineering bases or not. Yes, he did actually with that Overseer. So this is just an absolutely brilliant scout. He saw the Medivacs. He saw that one siege tank as well. Couldn't have been any better.
Yep, and immediately he goes back to Zergling production. He's got a lot of Roaches out. He'd been investing in Roach upgrades. And I think we're going to see him switch right back almost into purely Zergling Infestor until he gets up to his Hive Tech at least. Hasn't started his Hive Tech yet, which does surprise me a little.
Hellions in a little bit of a tricky position right now. They're going to get surrounded. Oh. Wow, beautiful surround here. Bison kills all 6 Hellions, barely loses a single Zergling.
That's an expensive and painful loss, but a good pickup for Sin, certainly. Demuslim right now working on the 3 bases. He's adding his 4th command center. He's continuing to add to his bio, as it's, I mean, basically an even supply game right now, 150 supply to 153 supply.
Yeah, I mean, obviously both players didn't really lose a whole lot. We can see in the units lost resource tab, it's very even. Additional depots going down, more medevacs. The Muslim has 2 medevacs full of Marines over here in this left, or no, in the middle bottom of the map, 6 o'clock. There's a single spore crawler and a couple of links, so Sen is pretty well prepared. Banshee might get fungled.
A couple of invested Terran eggs going to go down, and the Banshee's actually going to fly away, so.
Baby, if you fly away.
Basically wasted energy there for Sin, something that Demuslim should be happy with. Banshee's been alive all game, hasn't really done anything. It's got 9 kills, but
mostly links.
Yeah, not really any worker kills, maybe a single one. Yeah, 9 kill Banshee. Wait, did I read that wrong?
Yeah.
It's only 3 kills. Oh.
I was about to say 9 seems
Where did I get 9?
I have no idea.
What the hell did I click on that had a 9? I don't know.
Maybe one mighty Zergling killed all 6 Hellions and SUVs.
Maybe I just have the worst handwriting and I'm like my 3s look like 9s.
Yeah, that's what I did when I played the little game. See the Muslim having a medevac right now on the top side of the map as well. Of course, something that the Muslim always excelled at was multitasking. That's something that he's been very good at since StarCraft 2 in day 1. For the people who don't know, the Muslim, one of the very few players who played StarCraft 2 since the very first day. Fungo's going down right now for Sen.
Oh man, this is 3-pronged aggression from the Muslim. He's attacking with his main army. He's dropping the main base. He's dropping the top left.
There's an Infestor over here, though. That Infestor might land a really nasty Fungo.
Oh.
Problem is that it's the only Infestor.
The Muslim's just going to unload anyway, and you know what? It's going to work out because there's not enough units here for Sin.
He's going to lose quite a few Marines, but some Marines will survive. This Infestor is going to die. This is already a nice drop for the Muslim.
Absolutely. Forcing a reaction out of Sin. He does send a lot of Zerglings down, but the Muslim's very well positioned.
Well, Sen, this is not something you're never going to kill these Marines like this.
Oh, wow. This is everything's so choked up. Luckily, some Roaches get there. Some Lings eventually push around. But
and the Muslim, of course, so aware of what's going on that Sen is struggling to deal with this little drop, that he's going to try to get in a good position in the middle of the map. Trying to pick off a couple of Infestors. Gets one.
Yeah, he's having some success. Lings will eventually swarm everything.
Oh, there are so many Lings. One on that 4 Zerglings.
You are so far forward right now, and you don't have enough units here. Siege tanks are going to get surrounded. Lings are going to come crashing in. Honestly, Demuslim's still okay, and he's still killing a lot of units, but this was an expensive trade.
Yeah. Hard to say. His economy is fantastic as well, though. He has something to fall back on. He has the tanks over here. He has the planetary fortress, and he still has quite a few Marines on the map. I feel overall this was okay. He killed quite a few Infestors. There were like 9 Infestors, I believe, on the map. There are only 3 remaining right now. It's not too bad.
Yeah, that is very, very key. At a time, of course, in the game where Sin's trying to transition over Broodlords, he's now forced to invest a lot more gas into new Infestors. That's a very painful thing.
That's a lot.
Yep.
The Muslim probably slowly but steady going to try to move forward with tanks once more. I think that he was quite pleased with that exchange just because of everything you just said, man. All that gas just went into new Infestors rather than straight into Broodlords. Am I crazy, by the way, or do we only have 1 Spire and his greatest Spire not on the way? I think there's only a single Spire.
I don't think you're crazy. I think you're exactly right.
You think I'm crazy, just be honest.
I mean, I know you're crazy, but I mean, that's a completely different context.
After China ban officially thinks I'm crazy.
Well, I knew it before China, but I don't think I realized the level.
You think I'm like so far
It's a whole new level of stupid.
Scan goes down for the Muslim. Sen is going to try to engage once more.
Yes, he is, and the Muslim's got a pretty solid position. Great use of the Infestors here. The Muslim's trying to focus those Infestors. He's losing a lot of Marines, but the siege tanks are staying alive, and the Muslim will continue to push forward.
Excellent positioning by the Muslim once more. He just has these lines of tanks which are now dying. Yes, one line might die, or the second one, but there's always something behind it.
So nice. The Muslims continuing to push the issue here. Corruptor's trying to work on the medevacs, but there is not enough support, and Sin is about to lose this central expansion. The play from the Muslim right now is just insanity. Reinforcements continue to stream in. Great control across the board. The Muslim's up 40 supply.
A lot of Lings were in production though, and these Corruptors actually working on all the medevacs. Nicely done there by Sen. But it's not going to be enough. He's going to have to back off right now. Oh, maybe one fumble.
Oh, such great positioning using the siege tank to create chokes. Marine continue to push forward. Finally, I think Sin's going to clean this up, but as soon as he does, reinforcements have arrived. Man, this is like watching a Korean Terran play TVZ. This hatch is going to fall. Demuslim's going to continue to push forward. One very painful thing for Demuslim is his lack of medevacs at this point.
Yeah, the Corruptors really made short work of all those medevacs, but other than that, man, this was all great. Now, just now, the Greatest Spire is morphing. I think it was just a straight-up mistake.
Yes.
This is the second time we've seen this today.
Yep, unfortunate.
A Zerg player forgets his Greatest Spire. The Muslim, man, like, I know Steam is good, but relax.
These Marines have Roddy problems.
hey, they're giving the wrong ideas.
Hatchery goes down.
I don't do that kind of stuff.
Hatchery goes down. Lings are going to clean everything else up. Medevac's going to go down as well. And you know what? The Muslim is just he's out of his mind right now. He's up 190 supply to 150.
And during all this, man, he slowly but steadily transitioned into Tors. 2 more Tors are in production. He has 3 Tors on the map right now. He's gonna steam forward. He's still maxed out. How crazy is that?
Yeah, just beautiful macro by Demuslim. This game has spiraled out of control for Sin. Demuslim is about to be up 2-0 over the Taiwanese powerhouse Sin. The perennial 3rd place finisher in the North American Star League taps out. GG, EG, Demuslim leads 2-0 on a great Zerg map.
So close right now to making it to our offline finals, Ben. Season 2, Demuslim was there in his first season. Season 3, he missed out on 1 map in a very close series against Red, which he lost in a nail-biting series 3-2. And now he's playing so amazingly good against Sen in the first 2 games.
Twitch TV brought us that last exciting map. I cannot wait to see game number 3. We're going to send it off to commercial.
Out of all the EG players that we had in our league, How many do you think that would have said?
I
I mean,
man,
the Muslim
I don't-
always does it well in our league.
Last 2 tournaments, Suppy was the top placing EG player. NASL, the Muslim's the last man standing. I think
So
I can think of a couple guys that might need a raise, man. We're going to take a very short break. Game 3 when we get back.